Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Casey and Fred. What we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your girl's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Casey's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, she's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on a leash, and the command is Casey, heel. Now, at this point, Casey has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when walking. And each time that you stop your feet, she's been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So when you turn, she turns. When you stop, she sits. If you change pace or change direction, she should do the same. So she's always right beside you, shoulders even with your left leg, not forging ahead or lagging behind, but watching you and doing what you're doing. And the next command that they're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command to stay. The sit-stay, when you're practicing at home, you're going to start out at about a minute, and you're going to work up a few seconds a day to 3 minutes. And this helps to develop her self-control, her maturity, and her focus. When Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way around her. As an additional distraction, he's going to walk all the way around to meet his leash, and then they're back where they were when they started, and he gives her the heel command again. Now, heeling is very important with these larger dogs because I get the complaint almost every day. I'm calling because I can't walk my dog. They're dragging me down the street. So this is great to have your dog that under control, that she's focused on you, not what's going on around her, and that she's very, very in tuned. Fred leaves her in another sit-stay. And you practice your sit-stays and your down-stays indoors as well as outdoors. Now this time, instead of walking all the way back to her, Fred's going to call her, and this is the recall. He praises her on the way in, and she's to come right in front and sit, which is very good. And then they go back to the heel. It's very important that we make the come command fun, but we don't want to go over the top with her because we don't want her to come in and jump on you. So you walk a fine line with that recall. And you can talk to her on the way in like Fred was just doing. Good girl on her way in so that she knows that you're pleased with her. Fred leaves her in another sit-stay. And you see him using hand commands with her, and sometimes you don't even need to use the verbal command. But you're going to be getting a lesson, so you're going to know all these things. And Fred's going to call her again. She comes right in front, and she should sit. Very nice. She's done a really, really good job. When you stop, she should sit. If she doesn't sit, you say no sit and remind her. Now, Fred gave her a little correction because she was getting very slow on those sits, and you want to remind her to be on the money with that. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. Your long down stay when you're practicing at home is for 3 to 5 minutes. And dogs like to lay down better than they like to sit. That's why the down stay is longer. But again, this helps to develop her focus, her self-control, her maturity. And you could see her almost like getting comfortable. Now when Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way around her again, just as he did on the sit-stay. Comes back to meet his leash. Back at her shoulders, she expects to get another command. So Fred got back to her shoulders and said, heel. And you're not going to have to remember all this. You're going to have this video to help you at home. You're also going to have a lesson with her. Now, from a seated position, left open palm straight down toward the ground. The one-word command to down and stay. And this is great for her psyche. This really helps her mental health. And get in the habit of talking to her in the commands that she knows, using sit-stays at the doors, using your down stay while you're watching TV. This time, Fred will call her out of that down. Nice sit. Praise for a good job. And we've got one more command to show you, and that's going to be your down from a distance. So with her seated at your left, you're going to give her the sit-stay. You're going to turn to face her. And from a distance, you're going to use your right hand to give the command to down. And that was perfect. Now, we have demonstrated for you all of the formal obedience commands that Casey has mastered while she's been here at school. She's a great girl. She's come a long, long way. I think you're really going to enjoy the new improved Casey. We've enjoyed having her, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.